Most people in Namibia, if you did a poll, would probably say we believe that criminals who are arrested should not have a right to get bail. I dare say if you did a referendum, that position would probably win. But our Constitution says you're innocent until proved guilty. And I can promise you, if you ever get arrested and go to jail, you will suddenly become a believer in bail. So the difficulty is that just because something is popular with most people in the country doesn't take away constitutional rights. But it's very, very, very scary to me that if Parliament can overrule anything that the courts do, then we have no point in having courts. There's no balance. And let me give you another example of why that would be so scary. Suppose that the Supreme Court, as has already happened in other elections, makes a ruling on the outcome of an election. You know, it's challenged on some constitutional issue about the right to vote. What if Parliament can just overrule that? You know, what worries me is I want people to think through what some of the consequences are. Another example I wanted to give is a lot of people who are supporting the private members bill are churches. This is not a pure hypothetical. Parliament has several times considered the idea of having a law that requires churches to register. So I bet some of the people who are quite happy about these private members bills would be very unhappy if they could not go to court, if Parliament were to pass a bill saying, well, you don't qualify to register because your church is something weird and strange. They would love to go to court and rely on their freedom of religion. And yet, if we allow Parliament to do this, there's no ruling of the courts that they can't just say, oh, well, we disagree. And for me, it is the absolute bedrock of our Constitution that it has a separation of powers. Because that's meant to be the balance. Yes, Parliament is the primary lawmaker. Nobody argues with that. Most of the laws that we have are made by Parliament. It's only in rare instances that the court says, but Parliament, you've done something unconstitutional.